trust in physics, there are two basic trust on which physics emphasized. On those concepts, there is unification. First concept is unification. Second concept is reductionism. As we all know, what is unification, guys? What is unification? If I talk about unification, I can say that unification is a concept in which we can just develop a number of theory and to inculcate in those theories, or we can say we can pick up a number of phenomena which is going on in our nature and try to justify them with single law, or you can say single law or minimum number of laws I can. Otherwise, for if every theory or if every incident, every phenomena develop a law, there will be a number of books. You can say there would be a library to study the laws of physics. So the first thing, the important thing is unification. Whenever we try to explain a number of phenomena with a single concept of single law or minimum number of laws, the concept would be unification. So with that, you can see, as we know, Newton has gave a law. Newton had given a law of gravitation, that is a universal law of gravitation. So I can say, I can relate a number of concepts which are going on. See, I am walking on the floor. Gravitation. This atmosphere is around the earth, is surrounded by earth is surrounded by the atmosphere. Gravitation. Moon cannot, because it does not have that much mass so that it can develop atmosphere of itself. That's why life is not possible over there. So in that concept, we can say apple falling to the ground from the tree, obviously, that's shown, that has been seen by Newton, sir. Yes, law of gravitation. Then moon revolving around earth, gravitation. Then earth revolving around sun, gravitation. All the planetary motion, doing a motion, all the planetary motion in this particular universe, all the planetary motion doing in our solar system, all the 8 planets moving around the sun, all are following universal law of gravitation. When you are in rocket, when you are in lift, you have a different feeling of weightlessness, law of gravitation. So yes, unification can be there. We can apply a single law in multiple phenomena which are developing in our surroundings. We can. And in that note, there is another concept came up. What is that concept? The concept is reductionism. What is a reductionism? Reduction means to reduce. Yes. In many other theories, whenever we try to understand the different concepts, many times it happens that a very complex concept and complex system can be resolved by applying some simpler, you can say, some easy concepts which has been developed in our science, or you can say physical world. So let us take an example of complex thermodynamical system like motion of particles. We can consider those complex thermodynamical system with a single concept of kinetic energy and molecules or atoms. The kinetic energy possessed by molecules and atoms can tell us the concept of thermodynamical system. People used to say, my hand got burnt. He said, how? Actually, I just dropped my hand in the boiling water and my hand got burnt. Then everybody say, what is burnt concept came from? What is this burnt concept basically? Then we can understand this concept. What is this heat? How it can burn my skin? It is just a form of energy. It can. How? When the particles try to strike with a high velocity, it develops the excessive amount of heat energy. And after these particular vibration which is coming on my skin, and when all the molecules of water Try to strike my skin with very high velocity, my skin got damaged. And we say heat, my hand got burnt. See, simple concept. Similarly, a number of complex concepts, number of complex systems have been resolved by a simple concept of kinetic energy of molecules and atoms. We can sort out a number of concepts of electrical charges, electrical field, electrical flux, gravitational motion, and number of things with a single concept of kinetic energy, or you can say single concept of potential energy. When thing is moving, it develop a kinetic energy. Thing got stopped, it develop a potential energy. Yes, with very simpler concept, with very easiest concept, we can deal with most difficult and complex concepts of physics. So these are the basic thrust areas, that is unification, to unify all the phenomena and indulge them with a single law. Try to see them with single law, minimum number of laws. Reductionism. Try to sort more and more complex concept with very simpler concept, so that concept won't get more, and that can create your physics much more difficult. So reductionism, unification would be higher, then your study of physics would be interesting and simple. Okay. Then the next concept, that is domains. So what are domains of physics? See, as I have told you about unification and reductionism, there is another concept which came up over here is, okay, physics is related to unification. Physics is related to reductionism. Physics become a bit simpler, but by what I said. Now I need to know, what are the boundaries of physics? What are the boundaries? Is there any boundary in physics? They said, physics boundary. Ha ha ha. If you talk about physics boundary, then think about it. He said, okay, I will think about it. He said, the small atom, and in that atom there is nucleus, and in that nucleus there are protons, and in that there are neutrons, and on above them there are higher energy level in which electrons are moving, and inside that also, in that particular nucleus also, there are positron, neutrinos, many other particles. 10 to the power minus 14 to 10 to the power 25. It's a huge range. It's just like touching a dot and after that reaching the whole world. That means the concept started from the smallest particle ever will be included in physics, and the concept end at the universe, the astronomical scales, the astronomical unit, the light year, the parsec, everything included in physics. That's why we have divided them. Not me actually, the physicist, the scientist divided the domain of physics in three parts. And the first part is basically macroscopic scale. This is the macroscopic scale. Yes. Sun, star, planets, moon, satellites, black hole, whole universe. Everything constituted in macroscopic domain. That means it has a huge range, very high range, I can say. Okay, so in that macroscopic domain, I can say my macroscopic domain deals with astronomy and many other bigger terrestrial and astronomical world. The parsec, the largest unit of length, it deals with physics only. Then we come up to smallest part, that is microscopic domain. What is a microscopic domain? Microscopic domain includes atoms, molecule, nuclear phenomena. And, nowadays we are going to study about nuclear physics, and in that nuclear physics the main concept given up from microscopic domain only. Afterwards there would be a concept. They said, all right, it is dealing with such small particles, and after that it deals with number of huge units. What about other units which are going on in our surroundings? Me and this ball and this mobile. Who will going to deal with them? They are just confined to microscopic as well as macroscopic. They said, no, we have provision for that also. They develop a new concept, they develop a new domain in which few hundred of atoms, group of hundred of atoms combine together and form a mesoscopic physics. So that is just a mediator between microscopic and macroscopic. That is called as mesoscopic. Thing which is in our surrounding, which we can see, which we are living in, is in the mesoscopic concept. Afterwards, I am going to tell you about scope of physics. So, what is the scope of physics? As I have told you, the domain of physics, it deals with the smallest part as well as largest part. So, I can say, as I have already written in this, 10 to the power minus 14 to 10 to the power 25. That is the range which is coming up over here. So in that note, I can say my physics basically deals with the smallest atom nuclear concept to the largest universal system. After that, when we talk of scope of physics, and one more major part came up. Scope of physics does not only confined to the size of or the boundaries of physics. Scope of physics is very much higher if you understand it. Scope of physics includes that live session you are watching on. You are watching right now that IPL. IPL you are watching live. Yes. What is the scope of it? Physics. Scope of physics. You are having my live lecture. Scope of physics. You are just launching these satellites. Obviously, scope of physics. So there is no end of scope of physics. And when we talk about the different excitement of physics, yes, that is again very important. I would like to tell you around 70, 80 years back or 100 years back, you can say 70, 80 years back. I don't know the actual dates. And biggest achievement in the field of computer came up. They developed a storage of 1 byte. 1 byte storage, I think 1 megabyte storage that was. And that byte storage was like you can say a huge size, that much of size it was. It was kept in helicopter and it just taken up by like that. There was whole news all around in the world. Yes, there is a storage. There is a storage of data. Everybody was like, what? Storage of data? Yes, that was the excitement of physics that time. Afterwards, when we talk of excitement, in our parents' days, the excitement of physics was mobile telephones, the landline telephones. Telephones were the excitement for our parents. And I can say excitement of physics for me was mobile. Because when I was too young, I saw a big box like something, and that box is having I can show you the shape and design that I have seen. It was too huge, and it had just had a small screen like this. There was a small antenna kind of thing. There were number of keys, multiple keys there were, and the keys was also very huge size. Okay. And then there is calling options, and then there is a small screen. And that was the excitement of physics in my world, in my time. But if we talk about nowadays, if we talk about now excitement of physics, then you guys are spending, consuming, I think, multiple GBs of data every day. You are consuming around hardly 1 to 2 GB. That is a minimum score you are consuming. Excitement of physics for you guys is basically the concept of smartphones, iPhone. Okay, you can watch, you can watch YouTube videos on your smart LEDs. Excitement. I can teach you on Pantap. Excitement of physics. Obviously, it is a pressure sensor. Excitement of physics. So there is no end to excitement of physics, and obviously it is a very important part of physics also. So with that note, I would like to end up my concept.